Guys, let's try to solve a Leetcode problem today. Today we are going to solve a hard problem. Number 10, regular expression matching. And this is a hard problem, but a lot of people like it. As we know, this is a very important program. For this one, we will use dynamic programming. So giving an input string S at a pattern P, implement regular expression matching with support for dot and star, where dot matches any single character. For example, dot can match any single character like A, B, C, etc. And star matches 0 or more of the preceding element. The matching should cover the entire input string, not partial. So the matching should totally finished. For example, this is not matching because this is AA and pattern is A. If pattern is A dot or A star or A and A, so it will be a match. And here we need to understand this line. Star matches 0 or more of the preceding element. So if the preceding element is A, and after A there is a star, so together it can become an empty string, or it can become an A, or two A, or a lot of A's. So we need to understand this line. It does to me. I think I need to explain it in a whiteboard. For example, after A there is a star. This means the whole part can become an empty string, or it can become A, or it can become a lot of A's. Yeah. Now let's go back to the problem. So here is some examples. As we already know, this is true, this is false, and this one, this dot can become A, and after, if it is A, the star can only be A. So this, yeah, let me think. So this dot and star means 0 or more stars. Yeah. So this case, it means here the star is more important. So when we consider the problem, when we solve the problem, we should always consider the star first. If we find a star, we need to check how many dots it can represent. Otherwise, we will get it wrong. So we need to check the star first. If we have the next character is a star, yeah, and then we need to check this one dot. So it means we have two dots. So two dot and AB. The first dot can be A, the second dot can be B. So yeah, this is the difficult part we need to understand. So for this one means 0 or more stars of any, yeah, or any character dot. So it means two dot. Yeah, so this is a special case, 0 or more stars. So it can mean a 0. If it is a 0 star, it means it can become an empty string, but it can become two dot or more dot. So this is what it means. Otherwise, you cannot solve the problem. So the length of the S and P is less than 20 and more than 1. It is a small number, so use dynamic programming, we can solve it. But here I will use DFS and memorization. So this is basically a top-down approach, and it is easy to understand and to solve such problems. It is guaranteed for each appearance of the character star, there will be a previous valid character to match it. It means before star, there's always a character. For example, this is A, and here before star, there is a B. There should always be a character. Otherwise, we cannot solve the problem because there's no such case like star and star. There's no previous character like A or dot. Let me explain it in whiteboard how I'm going to solve this problem. For example, we have a string AAAA, and we have another string. This is a pattern P, and here is a string. So this pattern is A star AA. So this one, it will return a true. So there are many conditions. The first one we can check A and A. But before we check A and A, we should always consider, as I already explained, we should always check if the next character of A is a star, because it has a meaning. This scalar has a meaning. For a single character star, there's no meaning, so we have to consider it as one. So A star and A. A star and A star can become A. Yeah, and A star can also become A and A. So for this condition, we will let A star means A and A. After A star, we will shift to this place, A and A. So this is the normal condition. If A equals to A, we move to the next. If A equals to A, move to the next. So for the last character, if it is a B, it will move to the B, yeah, and then it moves to the next. If we go out of the string for this is I for S character, the index, and for pattern it is G. If I and Z goes out of the string, we can safely return a true. Otherwise, for this one, if this character is A, so A is not equal to B, we can return a false. Yeah, because they are not equal at the end. But how should we check this one, A and a star? Yeah, according to the problem, we know that if there is a character after A, it is a star. So this one has a meaning. It means if I pointed to the first A and Z pointed to this pattern string, it's also pointed to the A, and we should check the Z plus 1 first. If Z plus 1 is star, there are two conditions. The first condition is A and star can become an empty string. Yeah, this means the pointer J will be shifted to two places. So the J will go to J plus 2. Yeah, because this is one representation. If J plus 2, it will go to here. Of course, we should know here we have 4 A's, here we have 2A. It is not the case, it will return false. But there is another condition, so this A star can become A. So this A star, if it becomes A, what is the case? If it becomes A, so here this I pointer also pointed to A for the S string. But here, if this Z pointer first pointed to the A, and we have this star, and this A and star represented A. So what will be the J? J will move to the next. So the I will move to the next place, but J will stay here. Because A and star can represent as many A's as possible, we just want to meet the condition. So I will move to the next. So I, here is another formula. I becomes I plus 1. But J stay at the same place. Why? Because this A star character can represent as many A's as possible. So I has already pointed to this A, and J is still here. So for the next check, next DFS, we can still check what it happens if this is A and here is J. J will still keeps this position, and I moves to the next. But here, this J can move two places, as I already explained. It moves to here. And this I will stay the same. So this is the formula. If I stay the same, J moves to two places. This formula is if J keeps the same, J equals to J, and I move to one place. But before we check this I need to move one place, we need to check the previous condition. If I can move to the one place, the previous condition must, if there are previous characters like C and C, so these characters must equal. Otherwise, we cannot return the true. So this, if before this A, if it is a match, yeah, so this A can move to the next place. Yeah, I think yeah, this is the trick. Let me explain it in code and try to understand what happens. Yeah, for this areas. This is yeah, inside the code it should be easy to understand. For this problem, we will use a case, and for the first condition, we will define a DFS I and J. Because we will use case, we need to use two indexes I and J, and we can return from 0 and 0. So the I and J will start from the 0. The first condition is if I more than string of less and J more than string of P, we can return true. And there's also another condition is for J. If J more than P, it will return a false. This condition is something like this. We have if we have a string a and a star. So the condition is if J goes out of the loop. So this pattern for P pattern, if J goes out of the loop. If J goes out of the loop, as we already know, we cannot use the star anymore. Yeah, which needed to return a false. Yeah, because if J moves out and I is maybe still here, because I is not outside the string S, I may be other places, but J has already moved out. We cannot use anything else, so we need to return a false. But what if what if I more than or equal to len S? If I goes out, it is still okay, because if J at this place we have a star, at the first place after A we have a star, it can be empty, so it doesn't matter. It have to be if J more than or equal to len P, need to return false. Then we can define a variable max equals to true or false. We need to check, because here J already more than and less to the string less of P. We only need to check I, if I should be less than len S, because here J should always less than P, otherwise it will return false, so we don't need to check. And here is the condition: if Si equals to Pj, or Pj equals to dot. And this is easy to understand because the dot and SI and SP, the character equals, this is easy to understand. But before we check the next character, before we check the equal, before we check the match, we have to check the star first, because as I already explained, this star at the first character, it is always together. We should always check this A and star first. After that, we can check like A equals to A or A equals to dot. Otherwise, we will not return the result because A and star is a whole part. So we need to check this first. If A if J plus 1 less than P, and we should yeah, I lost my mind. What am I thinking? If J plus 1 yeah, less than the length of the pattern, or Pj plus 1 equals to star. So this is the condition I've already explained. If the condition, it can have two conditions. One is j comes to j plus 2, I stay at the same place, I equal to I. Another condition is j equals j and I equals to I plus 1. So for the first condition, it is I goes to I plus 1 and j equals to j, and this is all condition because it is a star. If any one of them is true, we can return a true. And another condition is I and j plus 2. Let's check if this is right. Yeah, because if I stay at the same place, j moves to 2 places. So this I stays at the same place, but this j moved to, yeah, shifted to 2 places. But before that, we need to check if there is a match. So this match is for let's check the code. This match is for Si and J from the first place. Let's check from a whiteboard. So this first place is A and A. We need to check if this A and A match. If it is a match, we can move it safely to this place. J can shift it to 2 places. If this is not A, if this is B, we cannot match, you know. Here is a star, we need to shift to this place, but here is a B, but here is a A. They are not matched, we cannot shift it to 2 places. If it is A and A match, we can shift it to 2 places. So here we need a match. So it should be match at DFS I J plus 2. And for this one, we don't need to have a match first. Why? Because I plus 1 and J. DFS I plus 1, I plus 1, I goes to here. Yeah, and J stay at the same place. Yeah, yeah, because A and star. Yeah, this I plus 1, I move to this place and then stay here. I move to the next place and then stay here. Yes, this is because it didn't go to z plus 2. They stay at the same place, so it can be safely we don't need a match here. And let me go back to the code. So here we don't need a match dfs I plus 1 and z. But when it shifted to two places, z plus 2, it need a match. Why? Because if z stay at the same place, we don't need to care what character it is. If it is a B or anything, it can be any characters. So this one, it can shift one by one to any places. We know it doesn't, it is not true, but we didn't need to check it until this A will shift to this place. If it shift to this place, we need to check if this A equals to A. If it is equal, we know it is a match and we can use the DFS to search. Otherwise, we will check. Yeah. Otherwise, we need to check the final result. We need to return DFS I plus 1, Z plus 1 if match, else we return a false directly. So this is the problem is the code is not so long, but it's very difficult to understand about the star part. Yeah. So for this z equals to z I plus 1, we don't need to check the match. We just need to use it to shift one by one. But when it goes to z plus 2 and I equals to I, z shifted to two places. We need to check if this one, if z equals to I, if s, if they are matched. Yeah, here we need to check if pz equals to si. Here we don't need to check because even if this I moved to one place, because here is already a star, we can check as many as we like. Now let's submit the code first. Yeah, maybe I didn't explain it clearly. Yeah, here is something confused. Here is a case. Here is a z more than p reinforcement. Let's Let's try to put the maths here to see if it works. Yeah, it seems the maths should be at the I plus 1 and z. I didn't explain it clearly. Yeah. It seems the maths should come with the DFS I plus 1 and z. So from here, if we were to move to the next place, if the I were to move to the next place, we have to match first. If this A and this A match, it can move to the next place. Otherwise, if it is a B not match, it cannot move. Yeah, I think it is should be like this. Otherwise, there's another condition. This Z can shift to two places directly. If when it comes to shift to two places directly, this means we don't need to check because anyway, this A character will move to here. So this A and star will become nothing. So the nothing don't need to check. Yeah, so this is why from the beginning I didn't understand. I think I will upload another video to try to